I just met some nice people on the trail. They're from another state. And they know this area, so they're out walking around the forest. Really nice folks. See, I like people. I say I'm a misanthropic, but I'm misanthropic because I'm online too much, and online people suck so much. Often, too many of them, the loudest ones. The ones I block constantly, but I'll never be able to finish blocking. The ones I never want to meet. But at least they are without their mask. And you see the real horrible person beneath it. Because a lot of these people in person might come across as really nice. But in the mind behind the mask, they're horrible people. And that's a very tough thing to know then when people want to present to you a lie about who they are and get into your life. And, you know, they may be vampires, energy vampires, or other types of monsters. Wow, it's going to be slippery right in here. So let's talk for a bit about who I don't want here. That's a tougher topic. It's not very nice because, of course, we should be inclusive of everyone, shouldn't we? No. I first of all, I can't handle everyone. I'm not a hospital. I'm not a mental hospital. I'm not a babysitter. And I'm not rich enough to make up for other people's weak ways of living. So I don't want people here who are unable to or unwilling to agree to a specific culture. And the good thing is I can make that very clear up front. That's part of my job, is to make it very clear the vision of how we want to live here so that people can self-exclude, you know. And then there's other kinds of people here who, even if they want to come here, I don't want them here because I know they're not going to fit in with the deal. And here's a couple of them, okay? Here's some examples of people I don't want here. Militant vegans. Vegans are fine. I had a very nice woman here who was a vegan. She even raised chickens and was giving the eggs away to her neighbors. That's the craziest vegan I ever heard of. Really nice lady. That's an unusual vegan, though. And I'm not against vegans who, for them, they don't want to eat any meat. That's okay. No problem at all. Everybody should eat what they want to eat. And my default diet that I've served here is actually vegan. And then sometimes I have meat options, like rabbits, eggs from chickens. And so I want those options available. I think they're totally healthy. I think if you eat 2 eggs a day, you've got all the animal protein you need. People don't need to pig out on meat. So I'm on the vegan side in a way, but I want vegans who are on my side. Militant vegans who believe that no one should ever eat meat because it's morally wrong and you should never, ever kill an animal aren't going to work here. Ones who are against the industrial meat industry are fine, because so am I. I'm trying to come up with solutions of how to raise animals better. So my animals are happy, and yeah, I still murder them. So it's not going to make a militant vegan happy. I had one vegan here release my chickens, freed my chickens, who promptly got killed by the dogs. Because the dogs don't care about veganism very much. And you're probably not going to be able to convince them. So, that's a pretty simple case. Although it implies others as well, of people who need everyone else to have their lifestyle. And it's a little bit hypocritical of me, since I'm saying in this place there are certain aspects where you have to follow the culture here or you're not welcome. But hopefully those are things that a bunch of people agree with. You know, be honest, don't steal, don't destroy shit, you know, don't get injured. That's a hard rule to make, but don't take risks. Like even with circus stuff, like I don't want people going up in claws, you know, aerial work without a really good pad below it. And I've seen people do it here without a good pad because I don't have a good pad. And also it's not my priority acrobatics in the air is not my priority. It's very cool. I even know somebody who has a whole school for it back in the city. Totally excellent thing. I'm not against it, but this is an inappropriate location to be taking medical risks in. I have had to drive people to the hospital twice. And one injury wasn't real bad. and one was far worse. Neither was good. Neither one was terrible. I mean, I'm the biggest injury that I've had here, and, you know, I fell off a fucking roof. You know, I wasn't even trying to do anything dangerous. It was a momentary lapse of physics understanding. The other type I'm going to talk about, and it's more complicated, is spiritual people. And it really gets interesting because a lot of people, when they say, for example, I'm spiritual, not religious, they think that's good. And I would rather say that I'm religious, not spiritual. Because I want a code of ethics. I want holidays, rituals, social norms of the culture that serve us all. I want those written down. And I can criticize religion like crazy. I had to break away from religion. And for me, even to talk in a positive way about religion is bizarre. I'm a non-theist, and so I don't trust theists. Because they have a God out there that can say anything is true, and then they have the ultimate authority on their side. Who am I to disagree with their massive authority as they channel God and demand that everyone else do what they say? But some of the people who say that they're spiritual, not religious, have a personal spirituality. And it might even be one that I kind of like. You know, I like the idea of Gaia, you know, seeing the world as an organism, the world as God, or you could have the universe as God, and order in the universe as God. You could have physics be God. You know, that's all relatively fine, because that is a God that we can deal with. Gaia is a God that I live within. I am part of. I'm a really weird part of it. I'm a very smart ape. Weirdo ape. That's what we are, weirdo apes. So there's some vague notions of God that might be okay. But a lot of spiritual people, especially ones that are pseudo-spiritual, are just kind of believing in made-up bullshit. Like, if your spirituality is based on evaluating somebody else based on their birth date, you know, if you know their birth date, then you suddenly have this massive power over them to tell them who they are, what they have to do, and it's like, fuck. I mean, that's why I lie to people about my birthday, in addition to the fact that it's banking information, you know, and one of the questions they ask you for banking, like, never tell someone your birthday. Just fucking everybody should lie. Just always lie about your birthday. Nobody needs to know your birthday. And especially not those people. Tarot as divination, ridiculous. As a fun thinking tool, maybe moderately fun. But it still is a power dynamic thing where this person has the magic cards, and so they can pull out these cards and then tell you what you have to do and who the fuck you are. Because they have the excuse of the cards. And it's like, no, I mean, I have 2 tarot decks. I have a book about tarot, 2 books about tarot, and they're really great. I have like one of the prettiest tarot decks there is. It's just art. It's beautiful. But it's wrong to use that as a tool of oppression. And oppression can come with a really pretty face. I mean, the devil was an angel, right? I grew up in a Christian religion, so sometimes I make Christian references because they're convenient for me and because I know that a lot of my audience will get them, although none of them are probably as deeply educated in that shit as I am. But, you know, the devil's very pretty. By definition, angels are very pretty. The devil didn't, you know, Lucifer didn't become ugly when he got kicked out of heaven. In fact, I would go so far to say, just to be annoying, that most Christians actually follow the devil. They're very confused. Although I don't believe the devil or God exists at all. I see no evidence for either. So, people can get religious in a bad way about almost anything. I'm getting off track from spirituality now. I think I've covered that enough. Any woo-woo shit, any invisible shit. I mean, I'm a philosophical philosophical materialist. And there's a cool Indian word for that. If you look up Hindu materialism, you'll find Chayaka or something. There's another word for it as well. And so if you really think that it's more spiritual to be an Orientalist and use foreign words for stuff, because that's more magic and spiritual for you, you could look that up and you could say you're into that. But really you're saying you're a philosophical materialist who doesn't basically believe in anything that we can't see or perceive. And in this case, I will include science as perceiving. I have occasionally said I don't believe in atoms. And I think that's a funny thing to say. It's really fun to say to scientists, because I remember this one party with a bunch of really smart scientists, and some of them are just very disturbed by my brazen ignorance. But they didn't understand what I was saying, and I didn't really express it that well. I was probably drinking anyway. So, but what I mean is that I have faith in atoms because other people whose magic I trust, the science magicians, who also are sometimes hypocritical and corrupt as well. You see scientists get bought off all the time when it comes to anything to do with public policy, for example. But fundamentally, I functionally believe, just as technically I'm an agnostic, because God, in whatever form, could be hiding somewhere. That horse over there could be God, for all I know. And he's just hiding out in the form of a horse for some weird reason. Really bad communication skills. Being represented by a bunch of people who claim to speak for God, but are horrible individuals. So anyway, science as a process, science as a set of reasonable conclusions, provable through experimentation, if you get enough into it, we'll go with that. And we don't need anybody making up shit about quantum mechanics. You'll find spiritual people sometimes like quantum stuff, vibration-y stuff, magic science stuff. It's like, no. You're totally wrong. You're misusing science. You're a big fucking lying idiot. All right? Just shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of the way. Which a nicer way to say is your application has been declined. Or better yet is they don't want to come see me or be involved with me at all because I'm such an asshole that I'm questioning their authority of their made-up bullshit, right? I'm also against false medicines, homeopathy. If you believe in homeopathy, you either know nothing about it or you're an idiot. One of the two. Or you're a charlatan. You could be a charlatan. You could be a snake oil salesman selling people false medicines, which it is true, placebos do work. And so I don't go around attacking people's beliefs. I was just chatting with a guy about this online. I'm not going to go and say to somebody, your bullshit is bullshit. Because I don't care. That's their bullshit and they believe it and it makes them feel good. And I want them to feel good and nice and secure. But as soon as they want to apply that to somebody else, like a rational individual, and get some power over them, then no way. Very bad person. The guy I talked to, the younger guy I talked to today, he saw how, religion can be used as a tool for sexual abuse and child abuse. Very commonly. It's so common, it's ridiculous. If I ever wanted to create a religion, it would have defenses against the many sins, the most common sins that religion commits, the worst ways that they be. We could avoid those. So, getting into town here. So who did I whine about? Vegans and spiritual people. Anonymous people are one more. If somebody can't be honest with me, this one guy, he has no social footprint. But I really enjoyed speaking with him because I got to get a face to go with the text that we were chatting with, right? So that was good. And I appreciate that some people want to be anonymous in terms of not being online or on video. However, with me, in this space, they need to be honest with other people. And I totally appreciate them not wanting to be online. It's too late for me not to be online. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. So I'm out there. But I think there's a wisdom at this point in the world to not being online. I gotta go. I'll see you later. Good luck to you.